It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. With me this week are Ed, Kate, and Foxy. We've got loads of questions to get through, so we'll just get straight into it. That Man City Real Madrid game was hailed as one of the best games ever. It was insane. The quality was unreal, like a different sport to what we see at Goodison. So, what's the best football match you've ever seen? Ed, I will come to you first at your top right on my screen.
Laurie, I was having a good think about this because I've seen such a wide variety of games. I've discounted Everton because I think the joy of watching Everton win just tops everything. I've got two candidates, one of which is purely for showing off and trivia reasons. I got to witness the fastest ever recorded red card. I just happened to be there, non-league match at Chippenham Town it was, and a midfielder got sent off after just under 3 seconds.
Jeez.
Which was amazing to watch. So that's good for showing off in the old pub quizzes. But one of the best games I ever watched was...
What happened though? Did he fly through someone, like straight from kickoff?
They kicked off, ball went back to the other team's midfield and he just stomped into him, 2 foot, straight in, like the most nailed on red you've ever seen. I think everyone was surprised, like everybody.
He had better things to do, didn't he, that day?
He did, yeah. He needs to do the big shop or something. He was on his way. He was straight out there. His surname was Pratt, which I think was pretty nominative determinism there. But I was thinking about the best game I've seen, and I was at university in Sheffield, and this was a time where Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday were both bad, and so they used to try and give away tickets. They literally couldn't give away tickets. So a bunch of us went to Sheffield Wednesday versus Reading. And this is when Wednesday had lost. They'd lost something like 8 on the bounce or something like that. It was horrible. Dave Jones was in charge. He was about to get sacked. So we all went expecting to see this absolute drudgery. And Reading took the lead quite early through everyone's favourite Russian croc, Pavel Pogrebniak. And we were thinking this is going to be a bad day. For some reason that nobody understands, Sheffield Wednesday just exploded. They just went mental, and they ended up winning 5-2. And I've never experienced a game that good because everybody in the ground, home fans, away fans, managers, players, no one could believe what they were seeing. It was just great football.
Completely unexpected. Bang into that. Good stuff. Foxy?
Mine's probably a bit more sentimental. I'll kind of go back to Everton. It's the second game I saw. So the first game, I was 7. I don't really remember much about it. Am I getting a bit of... Is my sound coming through okay?
Yeah, fine.
Is it fine? Yeah. So second game was at the Dell in 1991. I was only 10. My dad's a Southampton fan. And we won 4-3. And it was the likes of Cotti, Newell, Milligan. I think Dave Watson scored as well. And I just remember seeing... If anyone's ever been to the Dell, it's a kind of rickety old stadium. Bit like Goodison, built at funny angles. Things don't align on a 90 degree. It's kind of like up and down and a bit over there, and it fits some seats on this bit. So it's a lovely stadium. And when I was kind of 10, for me, it was the age I actually properly got into football, and I knew all the players. When I went when I was 7, didn't have a clue. But when you're 10, you kind of get into it. You know about Tony Cotti signing, very exciting, going to take us back, and never really happened. But it was very exciting as a 10-year-old with a hope. And then beating my dad's team as well.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favourite game. I still occasionally will go back on YouTube and watch the highlights and stuff. And yeah, it was good.
Getting excited about a team with Mike Milligan in is something only a 10-year-old. Yeah, it was just a strange team, that wasn't it? Always felt it should have done a lot better than it did.
Yeah, it's kind of the remnants of the decent 80s team, like post Heysel and the players leaving for European football, and those that remained, and then some add-ons. And some were good and some were, a bit not so good. But
yeah, it's just classic Everton recruitment, wasn't it, really? Just not placing the players who've gone with good enough ones.
Yeah.
Kate? If she's there. She's on mute. Are you there? In the meantime, I'll tell you mine. It was unsurprisingly an AC Hoylake game. It was our first ever cup win. It was AC Hoylake Galaxy, which was us, against AC Hoylake Stars. So it was 2 teams from the same club in the final, under 13s. Our keeper got injured in the week, so we were without a goalie who was probably our best player of the season up until that point. But he got injured in the week, so I had to shuffle it round a bit. We went 2-0 down in the first half. and then came back in the second half to go 4-2 up, and then conceded the late one to win it 4-3. That was our first cup win. And the winning goal came from our captain. She went on to play for Wrexham, where I think she still plays. But she scored an absolute screamer, I think, for our third or fourth. It was just an amazing day, absolutely unreal.
It definitely hits different when you're coaching, doesn't it?
It does.
I remember the team I coached a bunch of kids who basically they needed someone to coach them, otherwise there was no room for them in any other team. So we were just giving them glorified training sessions. So they got to the age of about 11 when they'd never won a game of football. They never got close. They just got thrashed every time. And I remember we went on one away game, and for some reason it just clicked. Everything worked. We went 3-0 up. The other team brought it back, and then we scored a couple at the end to win 5-3. And all these 11-year-old kids are running around winning their first ever game of football. And honestly, the feeling unrivaled, absolutely unrivaled.
And it's just the look on the faces, and it's the surprise again, isn't it? Because like you said, your kids weren't used to winning a game at all. Our kids, we've got beaten in the cup final the season before. We didn't expect to win this one, and we just did. And the surprise on everyone's face and the joy was just brilliant. Kate.
Yeah, it's much the same with Football Manager. I've developed Malenko to be one of the best left backs in the world over the last 3 or 4 seasons. I take a lot of pride in his development.
I tell you what, he could well become that, the rate he's going. I really wasn't convinced by him at all.
He looks proper good now, doesn't he?
But yeah,
I feel so vindicated because I mean, certain people were writing him off after about 1 or 2 games. I refuse to do so, and I'm going to milk it until it all falls apart in 6 months.
Do you want to name and shame those people that wrote him off?
I wouldn't ever do that, would I, lads?
I mean, I definitely didn't say. I'm not even sure if he's left-footed or not. I did not say that at all. Name and shame, man. It's fine. Right, I think Kate's back.
I think she's trying to.
There she is. Hey, you got us?
Yes.
Hey.
I'm so sorry. I've got tech set up like everywhere and nothing's working. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I just failed with my answer to it. So what's the best football game you've seen?
I've kind of got 3 very short, non-specific answers to this. The first one was anybody else who's got young kids who paid an exorbitant amount of money to these kind of like equivalent of these little league type of things where you put like a 4-year-old into a football session and just watch the absolute chaos that ensues, which is like 30 3 or 4-year-olds all just running after the ball, including the one who's supposed to be the keeper. Absolutely hours of fun, that, without a doubt. So yeah, I think Logan probably lasted 2 sessions of that before he decided he just wanted to twirl around in dresses instead. So that was handy. That was the first one. The second one was whichever one almost cost me my marriage, which I appreciate. I'm jumping ahead to other questions, because when we were on honeymoon, I had to write gob on because we weren't allowed to go and watch whichever Blackburn match was on because Sam Allardyce was the guy.
Oh my God. Your Sam Allardyce thing has just gone up a level here.
I was on honeymoon. Right, so I can't even remember what game it was, but I had to write gob on that he was like, we're on honeymoon. I was like, so we watched it anyway. Yeah, and then I bark on about it all the time, but definitely Ellie's first game, which was our 4-0 win over Man City. It was just, I just wish it was like that all the time for the kids when you take your kids to the game.
Yeah, it very rarely is. That had pep and everything for you, didn't it? The whole...
it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Just thinking about those kids' academy games where they're like, oh, it is literally just everyone running after the ball. It's like Gant Hill Mob or something, just legging it round. And then you get the kids who just get distracted dead easily. So they'll see something and just break away from the crowd and like follow a butterfly or something. It's unrivaled.
I remember coaching 5-year-olds, and they're obviously all playing around and running, and just leaving them to it. And then one of the kids just stopped and just started walking towards me. I'm thinking, what are you doing? What's going on? They just found something on the floor. They just wanted to come and show me the thing they found on the floor. And I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe you should go back out there and play. But instead, I just sort of went, oh, that's brilliant. Can I have it, please? And I gave it to him and went, okay, great. Off you go. Bye. Push it back onto the pitch. Oh, great. I agree with Kate. That's the best football. Just
It is.
pure, unfiltered joy. Kids doing whatever the hell they want. I think it's great. And if any adult ever sees one of those games and thinks, "Oh, what I need to do here is coach these kids and start shouting at them," I'd deck them every time.
Yeah, it is just as you said. It's unfiltered joy, isn't it? It's amazing. That's the game at its best.
Then they grow up and play for Everton, and it all goes wrong.
Thing is, it only takes them a couple of years before they start rolling around because they've seen it on the telly.
Yeah.
They do quickly lose that innocence in the game. Next question, a huge asteroid, twice the size of the Empire State Building, apparently has just passed the Earth. But it's due to do it today, so it might have already done so. I don't know. Personally, I probably wouldn't mind if it collided. But if it was on a collision course with the Earth, what would be the best way to repel it? Gary answered this one and said he's got some Simpsons-related advice. To repel a comet, listen to what Homer Simpson says. So there's a comet, big deal. It'll burn up in our atmosphere, and whatever's left will be no bigger than a chihuahua's head. Which is, fair enough.
Good to know.
How are you repelling this comet?
So I'm going for just send Jurgen Klopp up on a satellite, get him to stand up there on the halfway line, looking alpha male, macho, staring down the comet. It will just burn up on approach from his pure unbeatableness that he has. And he'll just throw it.
You need to send up at least 3 sky cameras as well.
Oh, yeah. And Carol will go, it's not a comet. Get up, comet, get up.
Pump in at the end as well, the fist pump like up to the crowd, just so the audience is going to see handedly.
Yeah. Well, that's it. He would come down to Earth doing that in the back of a space shuttle or something.
It'd be the first ever comet to cringe its way off course.
I mean, someone does need to just stand right in front of him, don't they?
Yeah.
Or just like stare. I think I remember, was the England team did that to the New Zealand team?
What, rugby?
Yeah.
I
remember the first time anyone did it. I think it was England. And it was great. It was really funny. Someone should do it to him. Or the hacker in front of him. See how he likes that? Kate, how you batting away this comment?
I'm gonna follow in Foxy's direction now. Just get Jordan Pickford to just kind of jump on it and hold it on the ground for a second. You know what I mean? Just to make sure he's fully contained it. You know what I mean?
Just delay it for a few seconds at least.
At least we know when he's winked. Kind of like smile. All goes. Everything sounds again.
That proper rattled them, that didn't it?
I would be lying if I said I didn't also piss off laughing when Alison did it as well. That I was howling. It's just the theatre of the derby. Like something, and I genuinely did think that. I think it was hilarious, like the whole thing. Yeah.
My issue with Alison, because of course I've got one. Not the fact that he's hiding that to goal, so not that. It's the fact that he's a goalkeepers union scab. Goalkeepers do not take the piss out of other goalkeepers. It is an unwritten rule. I think Tim Howard, when he scored that goal, it made a knob of their keeper because it just bounced over him. But he didn't celebrate purely because goalkeepers do not take the piss out of other goalkeepers. Apart from Alison Becker, it seems, who is just a scab. Ed?
Well, I wasn't sure about this, and I was thinking, how do you avoid something so catastrophic? And I tried the scientific route. I wasn't sure. It seemed like we'd all die. So I went on Facebook and had a look around, and basically I've worked out that if you just say that the comet doesn't exist, and if you've read some paper that no one else has read that said the comet will just disappear, then maybe it'll be fine. So yeah, pure denial. If you can gaslight a comet out of the way, give it a go.
Just gaslight the fuck out of it.
It's got Matt Letizier's seal of approval, so we'll see how it goes.
Denise well on board with that as well. Yeah, whatever problem you've got, get the loose women's take on it.
Yeah, all sorted. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, obviously the film Don't Look Up pretty much covered this, but if there was a comet coming at us, the number of people who'd be looking up at the sky going, "It's just cameras and mirrors, isn't it?" Like,
it would be, wouldn't it?
As they're engulfed in fiery death, they're still saying, "No, I think Soros is behind this." Some people just won't learn. They simply won't learn.
It's bizarre, isn't it? It's really bad. Next up, Ed, not Ed McCosh, Dixie60 Ed, asked, who was your favourite crap Everton player? Now, I sent this out to you before, because this was one from last week that we didn't have time to do. We could really fill an entire podcast or a series podcast with this. For the record, Ed said Uma on the ass is his, which I think is a good shout. Foxy, who's yours?
Until recently, my favourite crap player was Iwobi, but he's actually starting to look pretty decent now. I think back in like the growing up days, it's probably Mick Madar, but I don't know if you'd say he was crap or not, because I actually looked at his record. My memory of him, he was a pretty like bang average striker, but he actually scored 6 goals in 19 games. Shall I take that return right now? So I'm gonna have to rethink Mick Madar. Yeah, someone like that, someone from like the Walter Smith.
Mick Madar was just a beautiful Frenchman, though, wasn't he?
He was very handsome, but not very good at football, from what I recall.
Yeah, but he played for PSG as well, didn't he? I think decent career.
Yeah, he went to PSG after
Everton in a relegation scrap.
PSG partner in Ronaldinho.
They both had the hair, didn't they?
That's a very hair-stew forward line, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfairly so. Yeah. Do you know what? Just thinking back to that team, I always thought Carl Tarley was all right, you know. He's got to be up there with one of my favourite crap Everton players.
Did he play midfield as well sometimes? So they kind of push him forward from centre half? Or is that just when we play with 7 centre halves on the pitch at the same time? It
probably was that. Yeah. But yeah, he had his little pal Mitch Ward, didn't he? With him.
Yeah. How's he doing?
With the midfield. Kate, who's yours?
Michael Keane.
Gosh. Unfair.
He crash test up with a person painted on. Oh, I just can't. He just absolutely needs to go. He's just reminds me of like a pinball machine. He's the least interesting bit of the pinball machine, which is the fucking static things that the pinball hits off.
You know, the question involved the word favourite, right?
Can't coach.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen you triggered like this over football.
I was genuinely trying to think of somebody else just went current, just trying to think of, and I just can't. He reminds me of Crichton off Red Dwarf. Do you remember Red Dwarf?
he's got the head, hasn't he?
Human painted over it. She said, perfect over it. Sorry, I'm sure he's lovely.
You got called a princess in the comments to one of the other ones. So maybe last week's it was.
What?
What, Ed?
By who?
I need to put it right and tell you you're a queen.
By who?
Some lad who really loves the show. I'll find out now. I think he's a red as well.
What?
I know. Yeah, I'm
not having that.
I should really know what he's called because he's always full of nice comments for the show, so I should really know.
Okay, try and find it.
Ed?
This might be controversial, but I'm gonna say Vic Anichebe. I mean, I think some people will say he's not crap. I think he has a crap goal return. Like, he played 200 Premier League games and he scored a touch above 25 goals, I think it was. Like, I mean, genuinely, the output is awful. He was a striker, but I just loved him. I just did. He had that patented Vic move of collecting the ball, sticking his arse into the defenders so they went ballooning off into space and giving himself a bit of extra time. And the little things like that, like the knack he had of scoring great goals in Europe, the last minute winner he got against West Brom away that time, it was the worst game of all time, and he scored in the 96th minute. Yeah,
it was late New Year's Day, wasn't it? God, it was awful.
Yeah, just little things like that. He was just so endearing, and I like the fact that he still loves the club. He still likes to talk about Everton, and I'll always have a soft spot for Vic, but unfortunately, he does fall into the category of crap player.
He was a miserable get as well, wasn't he, when he was playing?
Oh, yeah.
People say Richarlison looks miserable, and it's next level. So, Ed, sorry, just to clarify, your answer to this is something like Victor Anichebe.
Yeah, can you just put something like Vic Anichebe?
Is it Anichebe or is it Anichebe?
Depends on the commentator.
It's pronounced Big Vic.
Ed has spoken.
Your man in the comments is Jojo80.
Jojo80, why did he call me a Pinterest? Like, I'm assuming.
Well, he just said, "Love this podcast so effing much." Also, Kate is an absolute princess.
Go on.
Which just reminds me, remember that video of the lad outside Chelsea?
Yeah.
The girl's doing the Chelsea TV thing, and the Evertonian walks past and just stops dead in his tracks and looks and goes, "Fuck me, you're a princess, you aren't you?" So good.
Yeah, I think that's a compliment. I'm taking that as a compliment.
It's a compliment. Yeah, yeah.
It's a
I reckon
compliment.
this is the start of mailbag matchmaking.
All right, just because you calm down.
I'll tell you what, then we'll go because you mentioned the M word. We'll go on to Foxy's question. Foxy, you can ask it.
What's the best wedding you've been to? I got that right.
Come on.
I did it earlier. I've already forgotten. Explain your workings, I think I said.
Okay, I'll start with my own next. Kate, are your weddings like kids? You can't pick a favourite.
No, I can eat.
It doesn't have to be your own wedding. It can be someone else's.
I had tonsillitis the second time, so yeah, my first one was fucking sensational. I'm probably still paying for it as well, which tells you. So, yeah, first one.
Yeah. Ed.
I mean, especially bearing in mind my wife is within earshot. No, it's definitely. I mean, I got married 2 weeks ago, so it's still fresh in the memory.
And your first.
First, and I pray to all available deities the last.
How old are you, Ed?
I'm 27.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah.
You've got a few weddings in yet, mate. Don't worry.
I'd like to make it the only one, if that's all right. But no, it was great. And to anyone who hasn't been married yet, obviously present company excluded. There's so much sort of pressure to make it the best day because everyone was saying, "Oh, it's the best day of your life. It's the best day of your life." And I was thinking, well, what if it's not? What if it's just great? I can't put myself down like that. So I just tried to play it really cool. And it was the best day ever. It was amazing. I think topped off after everything by the sight of Mr. Les Roberts carrying a tray of tequilas, which always beautiful sight. Always.
See, that was the highlight of my day, was seeing you leg it from the dance floor, take your shot, leg it back, didn't it? Unbelievable scenes, that, mate.
I saw my chance. I took it.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Foxy?
Definitely second time, Ed, because you get to learn so much from the first time on all the improvements you want to make. So my favourite bits, I'm married a Scottish person. I got to wear a kilt to it, and the first time I've worn a kilt, the last time I wore a kilt, it's an amazing experience. If you ever get a chance to fully rig up in a kilt, it's one of the best things you can do. The wedding was also awesome, having friends and family and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Kaylee dancing in a kilt is absolutely fantastic. It's a sense of freedom like no other you can get in a public space.
I can imagine it's quite liberating.
It's amazing. It really is. Fully recommended.
Joe's asked, have you got rid of any lucky/unlucky items in the blind and unfounded belief that might help Everton stay up? Because he has. He lashed the third kit from this year in a drunken rage after the Burnley game. So, Ed, I'll come to you.
Yeah, no, not at all, really.
So have you got anything that you like, you wear that you think's lucky, anything like that?
God, I mean, how can anything have retained any sense of luck after the last few years? I don't know. I used to have the superstition from when I was a kid that I couldn't sort of touch or wear anything red on Derby Day, because once I drank lemonade from a red cup and then Liverpool beat us 3-1. So I was like, this is a curse. I'm going to have to stop touching red things.
It's the only reason.
Yeah, I think now that I wouldn't say I've developed like a sort of nihilism, but I'm fully aware that nothing I do has much of an impact at all. So I just go along and hope that something good will happen. I can't say I've got any superstition in anything anymore.
Yeah, as you say, there's nothing lucky anyway. I've got an unlucky hat, which is it's a bobble hat that's based on the '86 kit, which should have been the dead giveaway anyway, really. But yeah, I think I wore that to like 3 games and we got beaten them all. But 1 game's in between when I didn't wear it, so I never wear that anymore for the game. That's about it.
The thing is, my wife Shan, she hasn't seen an Everton defeat yet. Every competitive game I've taken her to, we've won. But she doesn't like football. She doesn't want to go. So I think if it comes to it, someone's going to have to come around here. We're just going to have to drag her to a game.
We'll pay her.
Yeah.
You're married. This is what you bought into.
Yeah, that's exactly. I keep saying this, but apparently it doesn't work. So maybe I'll let her take a Nintendo Switch with her, and she can just sort of sit there and just hope that the luck works through osmosis while she's just sitting there.
Mate, you need to get her or something. I'd be on
I might have to start taking the Switch myself, to be honest. Way more fun, isn't it, than sitting watching Everton? Yeah, I'm halfway through Lego Star Wars. It's very good.
Nice.
So me, sorry. So I'm kind of similar to Sean comment. When I first started to watch Everton, the first 6 or 7 games, we won every time. It's over the space of about 10 years, but every game we went to, we won. And I assumed I was a lucky charm, and then kind of got to Walter Smith era, and that all kind of tailed off. But I started doing the same with Charlie, who's my 6-year-old. Took him to the Leeds game. We won 3-0. I'm taking him to the Chelsea game on Sunday, and I'm going to do all the same things I did before. So I took a picture and put it on Twitter, got it on the big screen. Goodison. I'm going to send the same picture in for this game, try and get on the big screen. He'll take his Switch to it with his little headphones and stuff and not watch any of the football. But I am literally trying to do that to try and recreate the same thing from the Leeds game in the hope it does something. And I'll follow on afterwards.
So if it doesn't work, we know you've done something differently.
Yeah. Well, I will have worn red pants or something, and it just.
You can't do that. You can't do it. If you do that, Harry Kewell will score twice, and it'll ruin your afternoon. Believe me.
He's right. Kate.
No, we've just jinxed it already. The same thing applies every single. Don't make a match prediction at any point. Just don't enter into conversation about it. It doesn't matter if it's weeks in advance. Never, ever make a match prediction. No, that's it. Pretty much.
Do you remember we did What's the Score for about 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think we got one right. I think you did, didn't you? Did you get the one right?
Is that the winning the league one?
Me and Matt did about 30-odd games, and then you came in and got one right. We hadn't got one right all season.
I did. I coasted off it for at least 1.5 years as well. It was great.
You know, as I would have done if I'd have got anything right. Joe again. He's asked the alternative question. I like this one: stout, IPA, lager, shag, marry, or kill. Easy one for me. Stout, kill, IPA, shag, lager, marry, because I'm a lad.
Is there an option to drink any of them?
No, I don't think so.
It's all a bit Boris Johnson.
It's an odd question when you look at it like that.
I'd have to say just kill stout, just kill it dead. Marry the lager, and I suppose I'm left in bed to the IPA after that.
And an impeccable taste, Ed.
Wife of two weeks is in the room. You're and she can't hear the rest of the conversation.
And it'll get disconnected soon. Just see the Wi-Fi drop out.
And they'll just get yanked off the screen. Foxy, where you go with it?
So kill stout, definitely. Just pointless drink. I'm slightly different. So I think shag lager, because it's something I can't go through for too long. If I have too many lagers, I fall over. I need to stop. Whereas I think like a session IPA is like more of the long-term drink. You can keep going for an evening. I'm going out with a few mates tonight, and I'm probably going to go for a session beer for longevity, as opposed to like too many of these, which will kind of make me fall over.
Look at you on the free drinks there, Foxy. Go ahead, lad.
I got that one too.
Oh, double dipping already.
A nice Prosecco as well.
Princess. You absolute princess.
I am the princess.
Bastard. All three of you went along with it, and you sat with a fucking glass of champagne. Amazing.
Foxy's the classiest guy who's ever been on there.
Classy.
You know, that is it. Kate, what are you doing with these drinks?
Absolutely not. They all sound vile.
Absolutely vile. Any of them?
No, it's just what I genuinely don't know what the difference is. I don't know what the difference is. No.
Stout's like a liquidized roast dinner. IPA, depending on what one you get.
Yeah.
I know it can taste like boot polish or something.
Oh, no.
Tastes nice. And lager's just like for top lads, isn't it? So
yeah.
Top lads. You know.
I get lager. I reckon rather than like kind of what were the options? Shag, marry, and kill. I'd probably maybe just pointlessly flirt with lager for a bit, but then just get off.
Just go back over to your Blue Wicked. Andrew Millington has asked, "What? I mean, this is going to be divisive. What's your opinion on buying kits with player names on them?" He has a 2020 DCL home kit that he glares at every once in a while, and a 2021 Godfrey Black Watch kit. Once again, making him smile. He's off for 3 weeks now, isn't he? Unbelievable. Given the nature of transfers and form, I just stick to blank shirts. It's a yes from me. Just it. No names, no numbers. None of that.
Yeah. I started with it for a really long time with kids because Cleo is absolutely obsessed with Tom Davies, and I must admit, literally for the last 3 seasons, I've been convinced he's going out on loan every single opportunity out the door. So I've said to her, "No, you can have your own name put on it," which would have been James, or just leave it. And I don't know. I think the minute you brand it, it kind of tarnishes it a little bit. You know what I mean? So they've had blankets like each time. It's just not something I've fully bought into.
Yeah. Well, the best one for Jay was his. Obviously, he's called James. When Rodriguez signed, he got James 19 on the back, and his birthday's 19th of August.
No way.
That fitted really well. That was to make up for his one that I mentioned before, where he got the camouflage goalie kit and got Tim Cahill 17 on the back.
Cool.
Only about 8 at the time, so why not?
Yeah,
we like.
Yeah.
Edward, stand on this?
Yeah, it's not for me. I don't mind people doing it, obviously, do whatever makes you happy, but I don't know, just the idea of putting names on the back, you're not playing, you don't need a name on the back of your shirt. I've only ever got one shirt name on the back, 2012 kit, Hibbert 2, for his testimonial. Wore it to his testimonial, he scored. I mean, that's a magic kit. Apart from that, not doing it.
Yes. And just for the record, anyone with Gerard 8 on a shirt is a raging nonce. Yeah.
Oh, raging, the most raging.
Fair.
The most.
I mean, they should they should give you a receipt when you buy the shirt and then make you sign a register just to make it quicker.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Foxy.
On a very different theme to what you're just talking about, I think it really depends on the player. So if you kind of get lucky with the Baines or like Cahill back in the day, and you kind of pick him in 2006 or 2004, and you get it right, and awesome. But for every like Baines and Cahill, you might get a Sigurdsson or a Williams, and you don't really want those, do you? So I wouldn't personally go for it, but then it's quite hard to pick who's going to be decent players.
Yeah,
I think the best bet is to go for players who have already been great. So you could get a Baines shirt in 2015, and even though I was on his way out, you're always going to love Leighton Baines. You got Baines in the back of your shirt, it looks great.
Yeah.
But you don't gamble on a new signing. Anyone who got Sandro 9, what were you thinking? Is all I can say. I hope you're listening so you can internalize this and learn what were you thinking. Yeah, a disgraceful error.
I do feel sorry for the people who got Sigurdsson 10 in the first summer he arrived, because he was going to do big things at the club.
Yeah, scored that goal from halfway.
Exactly. But we won't go any further on that. Laura's out. What's the worst/best thing you've gotten away with at work?
I knew you'd come to me. Is there any particular reason why you come?
I've not come to you first in a while, so that was all it was.
Can you come back? Because I probably need to, bring a solicitor or something. No, I'm only joking. What's the best or worst thing I've gotten away with? But I don't know, probably just not doing any work. I don't know. I just feel as if I don't know. What are the parameters?
I think skiving is a legitimate thing. I think any job you go into, first thing you got to check out the skive potential.
I don't know. Come back. Let me find some inspiration from these two.
Okay. Anyone got one?
I've got one.
Go ahead.
So I've got two. So at the moment, working from home, I quite like having a little 5-minute nap on the floor. So quite frequently, busy afternoon, whatever, 30-minute window, lie down, 5 minutes, snooze. You feel so refreshed and good. It's awesome. Totally recommend it. Previously, when we were traveling more, my role used to be kind of going internationally to different parts of the world. Used to travel business class, go and stay in really fancy hotels around the world. Sometimes the trips weren't really needed as much as other times, and there wasn't really the check policy to say, oh, I need to go out to Dubai to have a conference with someone and kind of have a workshop or have these meetings. You go out there and you talk to them, and you go and talk to them for an afternoon. You've been in Dubai for 3 days, luxury hotel, everything expenses. It was a happy time.
That's the gear, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully my boss isn't listening, but all that.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of the afternoon nap. I probably
It's good.
live without one now. It's a game changer.
Yeah. I think you get to a certain age and it's very much needed.
It is. Yeah, definitely. You got all this to look forward to, Ed.
Great, yeah.
You know, afternoon naps, divorce, the lot. It's all good stuff.
It's the future.
Wow, growing up is the best.
It is. It's a trap. What's you got anything?
I was trying to think about this. Probably nothing with my current employment, thank goodness. I used to work in a casino in the restaurants. So we were mostly just doing office Christmas meals and stuff like that. But I would come into work with containers and just see how much food I could get away with skimming. Sean absolutely loves Stilton, and they always used to do Stilton on cheese board. And we knew that no one would eat it because it always got left. So even before it went out, I'd just say, well, there's no Stilton on this plate, there's no Stilton on this plate, there's no Stilton on this plate. Get myself a solid wheel's worth. Unfortunately, that winter that I worked, Sean was ill the whole time and couldn't eat any cheese. So it entirely went to waste. But I skimmed quite a lot of food. And what I learned is, especially in the casino industry, they simply do not care. They don't care how much food or money they lose from that restaurant because it just helps all the money to flow through, obviously, the important bit. So I don't feel like much of a badass because I was just picking up this food and people were looking at me and going, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Quite uninspiring in the end, but you know, I felt like a renegade for a little bit. Yeah,
it's good courtship techniques for the Stilton. That's good.
Yeah, it really sealed the deal. It didn't quite get into the wedding vows, but you know, I know it played a part.
That's when you became a keeper.
Yeah. Once a blue cheese, always a blue cheese.
Kate, you got anything? I honestly couldn't think of anything for this. I've led a really boring work life by the sound of it.
Yeah, I don't. I've kind of gotten away with not so much, but like I've had loads of really good work perks over the years. So like, you know, in like PR and journalism and that type of thing, and you know, so I went back out to Australia in 2000 and was handed a job on the Olympic site at Homebush Bay, and like I just think if your normal job involves just watching Kylie going past on a giant flip flop, you're literally winning at life. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've had some really good work perks that like were totally nothing to do with me. It's like, oh yeah, I need to be there for that, reminiscent of Foxy's little escapades in Dubai. But yeah, that was quite surreal, to be fair. And then, you know, I had 17 seconds with Anthony Joshua, so I'm not going to play.
There you go. We'll go no further into that 17 seconds either.
Straight knockout.
We're on the last question, and it's Keith's. So Keith has said we need to talk about Winnie the Pooh, but more specifically, who wears a shirt but no text? Piglet wears a leotard. Eeyore wears a bow on his tail. Owl and Tigger are bolloco. So is Kangaroo, who wears a top and a scarf. Where's the consistency? What's going on with this, lad?
He genuinely worried. Like, who was it who asked the question was it last week? Is he the one who comes out with the like, right, you're racing a sheep? Oh no, that was Matt.
No, that's Keith.
That's Keith. Yeah.
Well, that's where this question sort of came from. So, hey, I saw, I think it was a picture from like 15th century France or something of a boar wearing jeans, which is really weird on this tapestry from 15th century France. So I just sent it to Keith and said, there's definitely a mailbag question in this one. And this came up with, he didn't disappoint.
Why are you just fueling the fire?
Because I've got a show to make.
Right, so what does he want? Some kind of like, kind of
a discussion, I think, more than
all right.
I think it was therapy.
It led me to think about when Bugs Bunny puts the lipstick on and becomes a girl bunny and everyone fancies him. That's dead weird, isn't it?
Have you not tried it?
Maybe you should. Oh, I make a terrible looking woman. I've worn a wig in the past and put.
You probably need to shave a bit as well.
Just for fun, you know. And yeah, I'm a terrible looking girl. Good God, good job I wasn't a woman. Wouldn't be this handsome.
just agog at that, to be honest.
Anyone got any thoughts on
I
Winnie the
I
Pooh?
just need a moment.
The beard wasn't helping, but
I'm happy to indulge in Keith's madness here. I've got a theory on this, right? And I think what it is there's obviously it's an allegory about drugs. Whoever this Winnie the Pooh is, it's a fellow who's on an acid trip. He thinks he's a bear. He's going around in shirt, no kicks. Piglet is his sponsor. Tigers on uppers, eels on downers. Owl, kangaroo, and Roo live in the block of flats, and Rabbit's the landlord. And this guy's just living out his acid trip. And that's all that Winnie the Pooh is. And I think that explains everything. He's so out of his gourd and looking for his next high, which he calls honey, quote unquote.
there you go.
That he has no concept of clothing and what people look like and wear. So he's just imagining randomly clothed animals. So it's actually incredibly bleak if you think about it. You're welcome, kids.
Christopher Robinson, copper who's after him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone check in on AA Milne. I think the AA was literal.
Keith instead. What is going on? Although I quite like the idea of the modern tale of Kangaroo and Roo, Kanga being like the single mum on the council estate and that with the kids.
Yeah, they're the real heroes.
Narrative. Interesting.
Yeah. It's time for a gritty live action remake, I think.
Oh my god.
If they can do Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they can do, Winnie the Pooh.
Michael Chiklis starring as Winnie the Pooh.
Hey, I'd watch it. That's all I'm saying. Netflix, if you're listening.
I would myself, definitely. Maybe not pitch it to Netflix, maybe Channel 4 before it goes the same.
Before it gets sold off, yeah.
What's that?
It sounds more Channel 5.
Right, well that was a classic way to finish Mailbag on a bit of madness there. I was going to do some score predictions, but I won't.
No,
I wasn't really, and I'm not going to now, definitely not. But yeah, that's it for this week. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. Thanks to Ed, thanks to Foxy, and thanks to Kate. And we'll catch you next time.